But when the world was on the brink of nuclear holocaust, Kennedy talked to Khrushchev, and he got those missiles out of Cuba. Why shouldn't we have the same courage and the confidence to talk to our enemies? That's what strong countries do. That's what strong presidents do. That's what I'll do when I'm president of the United States of America. This young man named Barack Obama got one of those tickets and came over to this country. And he met this woman whose great-great-great-great-grandfather had owned slaves. But she had a different idea. There's some good craziness going on, because they looked at each other and they decided, we know that in the world as it has been, it might not be possible for us to get together and have a child. But something's stirring across the country because of what happened in Selma, Alabama, because some folks are willing to march across a bridge. And so they got together, and Barack Obama Jr. was born. So don't tell me I don't have a claim on Selma, Alabama. Don't tell me I'm not coming home when I come to Selma, Alabama. I'm here because somebody knows. We're all free. I had a uncle who was one of the who was part of the first American troops to go into Auschwitz and liberate the concentration camps. And the story in our family is that when he came home, he just went up into the attic, and he didn't leave the house for 6 months. Tragedy in Kansas. 10,000 people died. An entire town destroyed. On this Memorial Day, as our nation honors its unbroken line of fallen heroes, and I see many of them in the audience here today.
So we just don't have enough capacity right now to deal with, and it's not just troops, by the way. It's like Arabic interpreters, Arab language speakers. We only have a certain number of them, and if they're all in Iraq, then it's harder for us to use them. And obviously they may not speak Arabic, but the various dialects that they speak in Afghanistan, oftentimes people who speak Urdu or Pashtun or whatever the languages are, they're going to be needed in those areas, and a lot of them have ended up being placed elsewhere.
What all of us strive for is freedom, as Franklin Delano Roosevelt described it. Political freedom, religious freedom, but also freedom from want and freedom from fear. At our best, the United States has been a force for these four freedoms in the Americas. But if we're honest with ourselves, we'll acknowledge that at times we failed to engage the people of the region with the respect owed to a partner. Now, when George Bush was elected, he held out the promise that this would change. He raised the hopes of the region that our engagement would be sustained instead of piecemeal. He called Mexico our most important bilateral relationship. He pledged to make Latin America a fundamental commitment of his presidency. And it seemed that a new 21st century era had dawned. Almost 8 years later, those hopes have been dashed. Since the Bush administration launched a misguided war in Iraq, its policy in the Americas has been negligent towards our friends, ineffective with our adversaries, disinterested in the challenges that matter in the people's lives, and incapable of advancing our interests in the region. No wonder, then, that demagogues like Hugo Chavez have stepped into this vacuum.
Because, you know, it is just wonderful to be back in Oregon, and over the last 15 months we've traveled to every corner of the United States. I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. One left to go. Alaska and Hawaii I was not allowed to go to, even though I really wanted to visit, but my staff would not justify it.
Also getting downright funny as the comedians, of course, take their turn. And SNL really got involved last night, bringing Tina Fey back to the show. Her impersonation of Governor Sarah Palin, outstanding. Here's a little bit.
Look at how far we've come. Hillary Clinton, who came so close to the White House, and me, Sarah Palin, who is even closer. Can you believe it, Hillary? I cannot! It's truly amazing, and I think women everywhere can agree that no matter your politics, it's time for a woman to make it to the White House.
No, mine! It's supposed to be mine.
A spot-on impression. We were running down our list of who we thought might have been some of the greatest impressions in SNL history. That has got to be. Look at how.
I think it's the top of the list already.
That is unbelievable.
I think it's great. No, I love the guy who did Al Gore. Remember how he said lockbox and you put it in a lockbox? Yeah, Daryl Hammond. I could never hear Al Gore again the same. I thought he was doing an Al Gore impersonation.
Well, Will Ferrell's
the real person.
Will Ferrell's George Bush is spot on too.
I like Dana Carvey, George H.W. Bush. She did a wonderful job with that.
I asked some people on Twitter this morning what they thought. Lacey W. writes, she says, she looks so much like her, it's scary. They also said, though, Michael Phelps, however, needs to stick to swimming. His acting skills need some work.
Okay,
not that
give
good.
the guy a break. He's an Olympic medal history breaker.
He did call it the 9th greatest moment of his life, which was pretty funny. You know what I wonder, though? When are we going to start seeing some Barack Obama comedies, okay? When are we going to see a takeoff on him? Who on SNL is going to step up and do something funny in regard to Barack Obama?
Here's the thing. They do a Barack Obama impersonation, but it's not funny.
Must not be very good, because I haven't seen it.
It's not funny because they make him very serious guy, like he's humorless.
They're saying, of course, that this may actually lead to them having a little bit more scrutiny of Governor Palin because she's got so much, you know, all this love heaped on her. Well, what happened when Barack Obama was getting all this love heaped on him by the press after SNL did their impression of him having that easy go of it in the debate? And Hillary Clinton was seen complaining during that SNL sketch, like, why is he getting all the attention? They say that the media coverage then started to turn against Barack Obama, and more scrutiny came out of that. You remember that debate?
Yes, absolutely. It's interesting when Saturday Night Live sets the agenda.
They do. And
that's actually frightening.
They did during 2000. You're right with the whole lockbox thing when Al Gore was seen sighing there. He kept going, as George Bush was reading his answers or giving his, you know, and SNL sets the tone.
It could be a funny 52 days.